Trek Geeks Podcast Network is proud to have Fansets as its presenting sponsor. Fansets is the place for amazing pin collectibles, with over 300 officially licensed Star Trek pins and new releases every single month. Stay tuned for a special discount code. Good on your next order at fansets.com, just for Discovering Trek listeners. Fansets, our pins have character.
Hey folks, it's Sarah here with Kasey, and this is Discovering Trek Enterprise. Welcome to the First Frontier. We're about to chat about Enterprise, Episode 5, Unexpected. It aired 20 years ago, so if you haven't watched it, then that's rather unexpected. And why are you here with us? So just go watch it and then come back. So that's via Paramount Plus, not minus plus. Watch it, do it, you'll love it. This one's a classic. And that's it. We hope you enjoyed our non-warning spoiler warning.
Before we discuss Unexpected, we always want to hear from our listeners about their thoughts on everything Discovering Trek. So come on. You ask, how can you get in touch with us? What are your thoughts? What are our thoughts? How can you get in touch with us, Sarah?
Well, if you're looking to get in touch, there's a bunch of ways you can do that. Of course, you can go to the trekgeeks.com/contact and find a variety of ways to get us your thoughts, and we want them. And on Twitter and Facebook, all you have to do is search for Discovering Trek. We welcome all of your questions and comments. You can also leave us a voicemail by visiting our website at trekgeeks.com and click on the big blue button. Please remember, though, that any comments you leave us might be used in a future episode of Discovering Trek Enterprise.
I hope so. You know,
we gotta edit that card. Gotta fix that.
I know. We'll change that up.
So every time we're tripping over it, this is not Discovery. This is, what is the show?
Discovering Trek Enterprise. And then I'm going to nuke one of those abouts. We're about to talk about Trek, about this and about that. So, you know.
I like it.
Hey. All right, Sarah.
I'm hungry for some baked goods.
Yummo in the tummo. What are your slices of pie amount this week?
Out of 6 slices of pie, this beautiful episode gets 5.
Wow.
5 big, juicy, berry-filled slices.
Nom, 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 nom. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
I thought it was a hilarious, ridiculous, fun to watch, interesting to look at episode. And that's why I got those points. Or those slices. Yeah, what about you?
I gave it just a little less. I have 4 slices, but I have 4 slices with a la mode. So it's almost a 5 for me. Okay. I hear you. I found it a sweet episode. How it's like hey, we're gonna do kind of a romance, but it was very gentle. And I thought something for this series that was very different. For this series, where we're not going to hit you over the head with the cast iron frying pan of this is romance type of a thing. It's like, hey, you got a friendship going on and a little bit of flirtation and a new alien species and a cool story. So yeah, it's a fun episode, quite enjoyable.
It was one that I mean, how does this not stay in your memory? You know, I hadn't watched the show in forever. When it's like joking about like, wait till she sees the episode where Trip, and I'm like, oh, I remember. Like, you can't unsee that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was excited to watch it again. It's pretty funny. Again, with our theme that we have, are you ready for a rhyming recap?
Ladies and gentlemen, brought to you live from the island.
We're doing it.
Sarah.
All right. Archer is showering. He's naked and wet. The ship's having issues. How much worse can it get? They drop out a warp and find a small ship. Who's hiding behind them? Someone called Trip. It takes them 3 hours to adjust to their air. The food grows on walls. Nothing can compare. Trip gets really tired. He wants to come back, but Archer just orders him to take a quick nap. He checks out the holodeck. It's really quite neat. He sticks his hands in grains. That's hands, not his feet. Trip comes back to Enterprise hungry and fussy. The bump on his wrist doesn't seem to be pussy. Phlox tells him the news. Trip's expecting a kid. He begs the captain to keep a tight lid. They hunt down the ship to share the big news, but Klingons are there and they have a short fuse. T'Pol doesn't lie. She exaggerates the tale. The baby is moved. Congrats, it's female. The Klingons do warn, don't seek us or look. Trip's interspecies baby is one for the book.
Wow. Look at you. That was fantastic.
That was the funnest time I spent doing that.
That was great. I was a little concerned when I first read that. I wasn't sure it was pussy. So I was like, okay, good to know on the rhyming here of we're keeping it PG-13. It could have gone another way. You are fantastic at this. I think you should do this in every aspect of your life, like the job, everywhere. Just
and the new
rhyming
Dr. Seuss
the entire time. Why not? Oh my
Rhyme time.
gosh. That was amazing as usual.
Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness.
I thought that one was a good one to there were so many elements of the story that there were so many words you could play with because there was just a lot going on with a simple story.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Everything in this one kind of felt really new, even though the series is new. It was just like, the interior of that ship.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Boom.
Zeralian, is that right?
I think so.
Sure.
Let's go with that. I like it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question because I think you've seen probably a lot more Trek than I have in general when it comes to all the different series or whatever. But have we ever seen anything like this before with this? Your ship is your home and it's like a living organism in a way?
I don't think so. I don't recall any other ships with food growing on the wall.
It's so cool.
Right?
I loved everything about that ship. It kind of had a TOS feel with like the colors and very technicolor, like out of this world, psychedelic.
Yeah, the shape of the beams going on there, the big round silver ducks of things, and I was like going, that feels like a throwback. Totally.
And like if the aliens had been wearing like go-go boots and like pink wigs, I would have been like, this fits in with what they're doing. Like, but it would have been a really cool, like, even because that was TOS in a nutshell. What's our alien look like? Well, they have a blue wig and go-go boots, and okay, sounds good.
Okay,
that's a Klingon.
Alien to me. There you go. Yeah, this was. It was. I think that's part of the nice lightheartedness of the story is all the other little technical aspects in here, which. It's a brightly lit set, the great colors, and then the different between the colors of the set and the colors of our new aliens, and their clothing, and the nice, cool little under the car rollerboard engineering thing. I was like, we haven't seen that before. That's fun.
And like the gelatin cubes is like what they have for water. And I like that because like one thing I think I've said this before on Rewind, but one of the things that I wish Star Trek had done more of is create aliens that are so unlike us, because that's one of the things I love about Star Wars is that some of those scenes where they're at parties or they're at bars, you look around and you see these creatures that are so different. Like this one's in a jar and he's singing like in the Han Solo movie. And it's like, that's really realistic to what it could be like on some of these planets where they don't rely on oxygen, they don't rely on water or the basic elements, and it's a completely different, fine technology to make them be able to travel. And this was a very, very small version of that with the weird water and you need 3 hours to prepare to be on their ship. I mean, we don't see it often.
Yeah, I think that's where, with Trek, it's always been the TV constraints. Yeah. What's your moolah? What's your budget? And if you if you're going to be, and at that time, early CGI type of stuff, it's like, how long is it going to take to create, these creatures, animate these creatures, comp them in, all that type of stuff. So it's like, well, okay, we give them scales or a third eye or ridges, and that's what we run with.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man, what did you? Yeah, well, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I wanted to bring up Archer. He was extremely inappropriate, giggling all the time, etc., etc. Would he have acted that way if it was DePaul that had gone over and come back pregnant? You know what I mean?
With this character, I don't know anymore. I don't know if he's flat out sexist or just a jerk.
I think he's just a jerk right now.
And it's just like, really?
Yeah, I mean, is not...
They played it up for him, too. I mean, part of it was like, why did Trip have the quote-unquote pregnancy shirt when you could barely even... I was like, oh, it's just casual day.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's like, oh, this is supposed to be like a maternity shirt. And it's like, that made no sense to me.
It seems like to me, if something like this happened on my ship, I would have that person quarantined in sick bay the entire time because we don't know how his body is going to react. I've seen Aliens. What if this thing comes popping out of his chest and takes over the ship? I mean, he was violated.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, at the end of the day, he was, her intention wasn't to do that, but
that's where I went on this. I go, there seemed to be a lot of just doing things and you're not sure what the consequences are. Mm-hmm. And when this really, if you will, and Trip are talking and she's, he's like, oh, you think I'm attractive and stuff like this. It's like, okay, cute little gentle flirty. While you're sitting on a boat in, on an amazing holodeck type of a thing. But kind of lacks rules for, I believe, is this first contact with these people? And I was like, okay, so we don't have any kind of these rules. It's just, we'll go over there.
Yeah.
So that was a little confusing, but because I loved Trip in this whole episode.
Absolutely.
Loved him.
Absolutely.
Sweet, just like sincere and into it and wanting some of that adventure and wanting to help out and then showing you a little bit of being freaked out.
Yeah. I think this was a huge leap for the character, even more so because I sympathized with him. He was, in a way, a victim. He was doing his absolute best to be polite and helpful and respectful. And when he comes back, the fact that Archer has known him for so long and he's snickering in one moment and then accusing him the next moment, if you didn't trust him to be professional, why did you send him? Yeah. And Paul is different because she doesn't know him as well and she knows humans to be, she knows the negative side of they're impulsive or he can be a flirt or whatever, but man, her jealousy was showing a little bit too. I thought that was
wasn't it? That was a nice little
just a little tickle there of something.
I hear you. I like when Archer was teasing him, I kind of like in the back of my mind go, okay, buddies who I've known, friends who I've known for a long time, we'll give each other crud.
A hard time. Yep.
But not trust them. Because it's like, okay, if we're friends for this long, we've both been there for each other. At some point some stuff has gone down that you had to have your friends there. Okay. So the teasing, the ribbing, I totally get, but then it's just like, hey, if I told you nothing happened and this is first contact with the species, you damn well better believe me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the teasing would have been better like a week later when everything's done. You know what I mean? Like when you're in the thick of it and you don't know if this is going to kill you or if this is something you're going to have to live with. Like my career's over. Now I have to deal with like that. I mean, that's like a.
Well, then I was wondering, was Archer trying to lighten the mood, thinking of his friend going, is my friend freaking out? If I freak out about this as well. And that may be for that part, but then it's like, no, you just got to trust the statement of I didn't do anything. And there we go. And I mean, and talking about statements, okay, the Klingons, this was like left field for me. It came out of nowhere that they were in this at the end. I was like, well, huh, what's going to happen here?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they acted like how Klingons act. I mean, they don't have a great network of communication about who are we friends with and who are we not. So, I mean, they were acting, I think, pretty expected, just kind of surly and like, you know.
Do you think they're incredibly homesick and that's why they were like, yeah, okay, you give us the holodeck stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we won't gut you. Otherwise, I found that a little interesting. I don't know, maybe this is a lower class vessel and then just has to make the best of it, but they haven't been home in forever. So what happens there? I like that what did you think about T'Pol in the Klingon scenes?
And her exaggeration. And
Yes.
she was lying, but she wasn't lying, but I liked it. I think that it goes to show that where she's been hanging out is kind of rubbing off on her a little bit. And I don't have any doubt in my mind that the Vulcans know how to be sneaky when they need to be. I mean, everyone's got that in them. Just because they've suppressed their emotions doesn't mean they don't have them. Mm-hmm. Or, you know.
Yeah. I thought there was some nice incremental character growth for T'Pol in this episode. Certain things that you saw, and it's like, okay, hey, nice of the writers to do this.
Yeah, well, she's starting to see that the Archer has trust in other people, and I think she wants him to have that in her. And, you know, here's another affirmation that I'm here. I'm with you guys. Mm-hmm. I'm part of the team. And she's not going to say that, but she'll do these little things that kind of show, like, okay, her actions I got your back. Like, we're in this together. This isn't me throwing you under the bus.
Yeah. So now, so far in the series, she's kind of done that 3 times, 3 mm-hmm. strong times. So, you know, once is an anomaly, twice maybe, but after the 3rd time, I mean, that's a pattern of how somebody behaves.
She's grown on me. She's T'Pol. I'm enjoying that character more and more as these episodes go through, and I'm enjoying Trip a lot. He's my favorite character at this moment because he's just been getting so much good story and so much growth. Yeah. And that'll change as the episodes grow. I want to talk about. I have a complaint, and this has come up before in other episodes. Technology.
Star Trek complaint department.
Yes. I have a question about technology and what are you guys doing with translators here? How did Trip get over to this ship and like he could talk to them and they can talk to him and everyone's talking? Where did that come from? Because I'm assuming that they don't speak English.
Well, yeah, I was wondering if standard was spoken on many a ship. This seems to be a production oversight of, you know what? We've already got him hanging out all by himself for 3 hours at a pop going over there. Yeah. All right. He's got the garage roller skate underneath the car, food. We've got new aliens. Maybe it just kind of got a little slip through, and they were saying we've got all these other things we're having to deal with. The writers just forgot.
Classic.
Okay, so then I have a question for you.
All right.
Like, how determined were the producers on the show to go? We're gonna show a nipple. It's gonna be someone's. It's
triple.
Like we've got the decontamination, orgy scenes. Everybody's in their undies and has to be rubbed down, with that gel. I was like, wow, you all were just trying to make this as
they're hopped up.
Hit that sophomoric crowd to get it. I was just laughing. I was like,
I know, it's ridiculous.
Okay, if that's what you wanted to go for it. But interesting.
Yeah, unnecessary.
Hey, you know what's super interesting?
What? Fansets?
Right. Something that's super interesting, fansets.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, if Discovery Trek listeners, we're going to thank our friends at Fansets for being the exclusive sponsor on Discovering Trek. As you know, they're always working to put out the best products available, continue to surprise us, and delight us with new designs, product releases. There are great new Trek products out. Go check it out. If you haven't got all the magnetic pins yet for the Deltas, go get them. If you haven't got the minis, go get them. There's just amazing Trek stuff that's coming out each and every week. Plus, there's awesome non-Trek stuff. Harry Potter, DC, and the world of Irwin Allen. So there's tons of pins and accessories for you at fansets.com. So boot up the internet, use your Bat computer to navigate to their website, browse, obsess over, then load up your cart and enter the special code word Discovering Trek in all caps, no spaces, at checkout for an amazing 10% off your entire order. And hey, don't forget, if you're in the US, you spend more than $30, you also get free shipping.
And right now, Fansets is giving listeners of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network the exclusive opportunity to help select the next pin in their Women of Trek collection. Folks who vote will also be entered in a random drawing to win a Women of Trek master set and a full set of the Series 2 pins. So go to trekgeeks.com/vote and vote. The winner will be selected on April 1st. Fansets. Our pins have character, and we thank our friends at Fansets for being the presenting sponsor of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
Excellent. And you know what? If by the time you're hearing this, if it's after April 1st and that has gone through, if you won, let us know. Let us know. Send us something on, the internet, the interwebbles, all of that type of stuff, so we can find out. Brag about it. I want to know who won
photos.
This.
I want reveal video. I want all of it. I want to be jealous and excited.
I hear you. Right? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness gracious.
Do you smell that?
Listen, I smell something, and it's good. Actually, it's not me.
Oh, it smells like something's cooking. Maybe it's that chef special of the day. Ridiculous.
We got a blue plate special for you. It's coming down the pipe. Okay, that's all the
you can pick it off the wall and eat it.
So then we're gonna have a rhyming segment and a singing segment. Man, this is just gonna be fun all the time.
Listeners are dropping off left, right, and center. Hello. Anybody out there?
Let's talk about our aliens in this episode, okay?
Sure.
First off, the Zerilians and the Klingons, the juxtaposition of these two species. Right?
Yeah. Opposites attract. One's a little bit country, one's a little bit rock and roll.
I was going to go, one's a little murdery, and one's a little bit, hey, we'll just steal your energy. Yeah, I thought that the end of this episode wouldn't work out the way it did. I thought the Klingons were gonna pull a fast one and go, hey, thanks for this, and now we're gonna kill you. So that was part of what I enjoyed about the episode, is as we received an ending I didn't think we were gonna get. So that was kind of cool. Wall food. I keep coming back to this, and maybe it's because we're all inside all the time now and such, and I look at the walls and I go, boy, if food just grew on all my walls, the snacking would be forever.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't end. Or we'd be very, very into no more broccoli from now on. It's just been up on the walls for 2 years. Great technology, amazing to be able to do that. Now here's a question for you, Sarah. Okay, the Zerilians shared the holodeck information with the Klingons. Do you think they shared it with Starfleet as well?
I think if they didn't, it was stolen from the Klingons at some point. I don't know. It's possible. We didn't see it. I don't know. I don't know what if we see these aliens again in this series later on. So I don't really know. But I'm thinking that their technology is definitely the prototype for what became the holodeck that we know in later series, for sure.
I would think so, because otherwise, haven't you given the Klingons kind of a technological advantage over everyone?
Yeah,
you can use this holodeck for training exercises.
Exactly. It's funny that when you're talking earlier about the juxtaposition stuff. I was going to say, going back to what you brought up about the juxtaposition between the Klingons and the Zerilians and how different they are, I think the best way to sum up the Klingons is that, when you see those funny videos online of really dangerous animals like tigers and lions with like playing with a bucket. And they're like, I'm curious. I can sometimes be kind of fun and cute. I'm deadly,
Yeah.
but if you catch me on the right day, I'm a little curious like a cat and I want to know a little bit more. And I feel like that's how they came off in this episode. And it's not a bad thing.
That's true. It's like, okay, we'll give them a volleyball, but yeah, we're not tossing our kids into the cage.
Yeah.
Yee.
And the ship with all the food growing on it. I also love the fact that they had these huge water tanks with fish, eels swimming in it. That was part of it too. That was so cool. It was such a living biosphere. And I was all for it. I want to see more of that. Maybe now, Discovery or something.
Do you think that was food source, water source, or a cetacean ops kind of thing?
Energy source? Maybe electric eels or something in there? Who knows? I think it may have been food.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Protein?
Well, maybe we'll learn more in the future.
Maybe we will. I like it. All in all, it was a very cool ship, and it was a very cool episode to have of all the species that they come across be the Klingons. There's something really amusing to me of seeing a big gruff bad guy in a soft pink room, like almost, just that contrast of dangerous and docile.
I'm so angry. Oh, look at that sunset.
Yeah.
Oh, back home.
Yeah. It was cute.
They've been out there for a while. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do you have any other thoughts on that?
You know what? I don't, because I'm hearing some bouncing around. I'm hearing some circusy kind of music.
Could it be that we're moving on over to the east side, also the Enterprise Funhouse?
The Fun House.
It's a house that's fun.
Ooh. What's going on in this? Oh, we did? Yes, we did.
What?
Tell us about the quiz that you sent me.
It was a weird one. I think this one stole some information for sure. This is why the computers are lagging, because we use this quiz. It gives you like the most weird questions, and then it gives you a percentage of like you're most like this character, then this character, then this character. And so I don't remember the questions, to be completely honest, but...
Oh, I have some of them.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Then why don't you share some of the questions, and then we'll reveal who we both got.
Okay. So, you get some standard questions like, do you like being alone? Are you in good shape? Would you go on a mission that could very likely end in you getting beaten up or killed? Then the quintessential question, if you were trapped in a room full of your crewmates, some members of the opposite sex, would you, and you really, really had to pee, would you?
I got that one too.
I was just like, what the hell?
I was like, nope.
Are they asking us here? I was like, if I really had to go, everybody turn your backs. I got to do it. Sorry.
It's easier for men.
Well, that's very true. That's very true.
That's why women learn to hold it for days.
Oh my God. So who did you get?
My number one was Phlox, then Trip, then Archer, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Wow.
But I can be a little bit of a jerk sometimes, so maybe it's perfectly fitting.
Good to know. Yeah. Very interesting. Well, gosh, I also got Phlox as number one.
Look at us.
However, though, then after that, I was Mayweather and then T'Pol. So I have no clue how some of these questions. Oh, and I also got 38% Portos.
Oh, lovely.
I guess that's the peeing in the room when you don't care. It's like, sure. You're humans. Don't care. I got to go.
This is happening. Absolutely. That's a weird one. I'll try and share that one if I remember. I'll put a bring forward notification to myself. Post that one later. All right. So that means we have one last thing. We have Sarah's question corner, and I have a question for you. One of the big things that we've talked about in this episode is the ship and how wild and crazy and unique it was to see. So, Mr. Kasey, if you could design your own ship and have 3 really cool, unique features to it, what would those 3 features be?
Oh my God, this is a tough one. The 3 features for a ship. Okay. The fastest way to travel, warp, transwarp, whatever the heck they want to call it. That completely. I kind of do like the organic growth of food. I don't want to be eating stuff that's been reconstituted from the crew's poop. So no thank you there. And then I kind of get into, I don't know, a little squirrely. Do I really want a holodeck, or would it be, I think, just instant communication anywhere in the universe? So if you left family somewhere, if your friends, other planets that you're visited, that you could just, it's just like a phone call. Simple and easy. I think that would be it, because I think if you're out exploring and doing things, that could really ease a lot of concerns. How about you?
Oh my gosh. Thanks for asking. One, I would want a holodeck on the ship for sure. Non-negotiable. Like, does it run? I don't care. But does the holodeck work? I want it. I want a bar, like 10 forward or something like that. Even though I could have one generated within the holodeck, I still want a separate, full standing, always ready bar. So if someone's in that holodeck, I can still go have my drink. And lastly, I would like one whole deck to be like an arboretum with like animals and vegetation, and like it doesn't have to be like food, but just to have something like a biosphere on a level of the ship where you walk off and you can have different plants that you're growing, you can have some animals, you can have ponds, I think that'd be really cool.
That makes a lot of sense. I thought about that because I was almost saying it'd be nice if you had like a lake shore, but I wasn't sure how at all. It's like, well, what if your ship does a barrel roll?
Right.
What happens with all the water? It's like,
that's a really great point. You have to have special extra gravity sensors. Yeah. I'd make it like a rainforest cafe where you have like the birds squawking. The thunder and lightning.
So while you're drinking your nice little drink, a bird comes by, poops in your drink, squawks by, says, ha 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 ha.
That's it.
All right. I think we're seeing the Archer part of Sarah right now.
Guilty as charged.
You know what? That does it. That does it. Gosh dang it, for our coverage on episode 5, Unexpected. We'll be back next time chatting about episode 6, Terra Nova, as we continue to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Enterprise. Until next time, remember you can subscribe to Discovering Trek by searching for us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or by heading to discoveringtrek.com. Where could our listeners find us on social media, if we're ever on social media?
Oh, Trek Rewind on Twitter for sure.
There you go. Okay, Kasey Shasky, and I found myself on there once a day now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Since we're stuck inside, it's like, okay, I'll give that a go.
Why not? What else are you going to do? And thanks for putting up with the technical difficulties we're having on this one, because I know that there's a lot of overlap. So I appreciate you all listening this long with us. So if you do enjoy what we're doing here on Discovering Trek and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, please consider supporting us on Patreon. As a subscriber, you can get access to the unedited recordings of episodes, as well as exclusive content and great subscriber rewards, like our annual supporters pins from Fansets and our exclusive Trek Geeks Podcast Network t-shirt, among other things. We would like to take a moment to recognize the following amazing producers of Discovering Trek. We are so thankful for their support: Mike Bovia, Chaz Bradshaw, Ken Bird, Kyle Castillo, Peter Craig, Craig Ewing, Al Godwin, Jackie and Chris Hackney, Kimberly Hartman, David Hood, Tony Lambast, Lionel Merchan, Matt McGonigal, Jim McMahon, Charlie Mulvey, Sean O'Halloran, Jamie Rogers, Chris Trabuzio, Ken Tripp, Christina Werther, Jess Vachon. The senior producer of Discovering Trek is Jude Tapman.
If you'd like to become a producer of Discovering Trek, or even get access to the raw audio for Discovering Trek episodes, head on over to patreon.com/trekgeeks for all the details. And until our paths cross again, to the beam out.
You bet it!
Music for Discovering Trek is provided by 5 Year Mission. They're writing an original song for each episode of Star Trek. Hear more of their music at 5yearmission.net. Discovering Trek is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.